Hi, I'm Alex Romsley and welcome to the week that was. This week hosted by the Visitors Penalty Box here at the Hat Parker Arena, site of the Vancouver Green Men on Friday night as they were pulling their usual hijinks just behind me back here. We'll have a little bit more on them later in the show with a full feature coming up at the end of the episode. But first, a massive weekend on the ice as it was a battle for first place in the Coastal Conference between the Cowichan Valley Capitals and the Powell River Kings. First game on Friday night, an electric crowd of over 1,400 people witnessed a fantastic back and forth game. Becker had to be quick as he had Matt Scarth right on him, and now Schmidt, long dumping, got past center and done behind his own net, who has had a quiet second period today. Only had to make one save, and there's a follow-up, 10 scores! It's going to be Steve Schmidt's goal. I'm not entirely sure how it happened. I think it's come off a Capitals skate. In the net of Derek Dunn. Schmidt just had a centering feed in front for Matt Scarth. It missed Scarth and got deflected in, I believe, off the skate or stick of a Cowichan Valley Capital defenseman. Might be Troy Patterson, as he's immediately gone over to Derek Dunn to apologize or say something. But Kings are on the board here in the most bizarre of manners. They lead 1-0. We were hoping to see him this weekend, but obviously that hasn't happened. The Capitals in the luxurious position of having to make a healthy scratch, and they're out in front, scores! Stephen Acabellis just tips it in 5-hole on Sean Maguire as he got a dish out in front and was able to tip it home. Caps tie it up on a good pass out in front. Stephen Acabellis potting home his 11th of the season. And the game is tied at 1. Kings with a couple of glorious chances here to take the lead on a man advantage, but just can't do it right now. And the Go Kings Go chant starts up as Adair into the attacking zone. Bad angle shot, scores! Richardson pokes it home on a centering feed from Cohen Adair. Richardson's 13th of the season on the power play. Makes it 2-1 Kings. Steve Schmidt and Evan Richardson both scoring for the Kings as they took a 2-1 victory over the Cowichan Valley Capitals and now have a share for first place in the Coastal Conference Division after Friday night. Sean Maguire stopped 22 Cowichan Valley shots for his 9th victory of the season, and the Kings went 1 for 4 on the power play with Evan Richardson's goal in the third period on the man advantage ended up being the game winner as well. Now the work not done yet as the Kings and Caps just tied right now for first place in the Coastal Conference. That would be settled Saturday night here at the Hat Parker Arena, leg 2 of that doubleheader. Pushed up against the boards there, Kyle Becker will try it around now near side. Williams pinching down, just sends that back into the corner. Jung got under his stick and then Scarth stole right out in front, backhand to him, still loose in the crease, it scores! Brendan McDonald scoring against his old team, finding a loose puck in the crease. Bats home his second as a King, his third of the season. And the Kings have an early 1-0 lead, courtesy of the former Cowichan Valley Capital captain. Off his stick right at the Kings bench, and now Prue will send that straight back in. Dalrymple, his centering feed, taken away there by Vinny Muto off a leg into Logan Prue. Around John Yancey, Prue a backhand scores! Breakaway speed from Logan Prue, taking it at the blue line and then making John Yancey look downright slow, which is difficult to do. Beautiful speed by Logan Prue. Around and backhands it past Sean Maguire. Prue's 8th of the season ties this one up at 1. Still banging his stick on the bench, not happy with himself. Got to pull the trigger on those. Is off the face-off, a shot there, still loose puck, scores! Teal Burns, I think it's the one to bat at home. Still a scramble in front. Burns is the one that they're mobbing at the moment. He leads the celebration down the bench towards Sean Maguire. Teal Burns batting one in from the side of the net. It's his 3rd goal of the season as a Powell River King, and the Kings take the lead 2-1. And here come the Kings. 3-on-2. Adair down the left wing, pushed up against the boards. Puck falls to Tegan Wire from the face-off dot. Centering feed, gets his own rebound, scores! Tegan Wire from a tight angle. Tried a centering feed across for Evan Richardson. Diving down was Vinny Muto, took the pass away. Wire got his own rebound off Muto. And then from a very tight angle, roofed it for Tegan Wire's 15th of the season, and with 2:36 to go in this Second period of play. The Kings take a 2-goal lead. It is 3-1. In our trivia contest of the night, we'll pick someone at random from Facebook, Twitter, or our email. If you know the answer to the question, who am I? From White Rock, current Powell River King. Scored my 3rd and 4th goals of the season last Sunday against the Grizzlies. Tidy. Lost it from Neal, and then Tidy took it back to the point. Leung shot, scores! James Neal tipped that in the slot. Got it past Derek Dunn, and the Kings have a 3-goal lead. It's James Neal's 5th of the season. And it makes it 4-1. There's Richardson down the right wing. He might have something to say about that. Out there with Adair and Wire on this power play unit. Adair takes it the half wall to the point. Dalrymple quickly over to Yutzi. Back to Dalrymple with the blue line. Down to the half wall. Adair spinning off a check. Back out in low slide. Adair through traffic shot. Loose puck scores! Evan Richardson batting home a loose puck. After Cohen Adair's shot generated a rebound out in front. Richardson batting at home for his 14th goal of the season. Kings with a 5-1 lead here late in the 3rd period of play. The highlight of the night, no doubt, going to Brennan McDonald. His first goal against his former team as the Kings put 5 past Capitals netminder Derek Dunn en route to the big 5-1 victory. Sean Maguire stopped 23 of 24 shots, and the goal scorers for the Kings, in addition to Brendan McDonald, Tegan Wah, Evan Richardson, James Neal, and JP Villeneuve, who I mistakenly gave the goal to Teal Burns in the broadcast. My apologies, JP. Glad we got that all sorted out after the game. Now, the big news on Friday night was the arrival of the Vancouver Green Men. Force and Sully were in attendance right here at the Hat Parker Arena, pulling their usual hijinks right behind me in front of a crowd of over 1,400 people. Prior to the game on Friday night, I had the honor and privilege of doing a feature with the Vancouver Green Men, Force and Sully, in the Kings dressing room. Now, the on-ice action this weekend, the Capitals and the Kings. Off-ice, though, these two guys don't really need any introduction. Force and Sully, the Vancouver Green Men. Now, let's get this straight for the cameras. Force in the lighter green, Sully in the darker green. That's right.
That is right. That is correct.
Okay, now, if I've done my research, and I like to think that I have, I'm getting various different stories about how this whole started. Like, one is it's at a Canucks game, the other maybe football. Who wants to take that? Who wants to tell us how this all started?
Yeah, you know, we're both a fan of the show in the States, and we were watching this show, and we figured, okay, well, there's a green suit. It's kind of cool. We're going to go down to a Seahawks game and just kind of make idiots of ourselves, sit in the very top row with our buddies and completely embarrass them. And then my suit came in the mail a day after the Seahawks game and had Canuck tickets. So I was like, well, why don't we give this a shot? And then, yeah, it just kind of exploded from there. Now,
your first game back in 2009 against the Predators, I believe. Dave Scatchard, it's all over YouTube. You guys had a whole ton of fun with him. Force, with regards to how this has all kind of exploded for you guys.
It's been pretty crazy. I think we owe a lot of it to Dave Scatchard overreacting and throwing a towel over the camera. It just kind of blew up. A good one with Dave Scatchard is after that game, he got sent down to the minors and didn't come up for another year. So we'll take a little bit of credit for that.
Do you feel bad for that at all?
I do now that he's retired and has like concussions and it's awful. But no, at the time it was very fulfilling and it led to a whole bunch of more NHL players getting angry at us.
Now, you've had a couple of years to kind of perfect this, but what's your pregame routine in terms of how you guys get warmed up for a game, anything you kind of prepare in advance?
Before a game, Forrest and I, we usually have different kind of regimens. I like to sit alone in a dark room and just do yoga for about 4.5 hours or so. That's what you got to loosen up. You got to be flexible out there, you know? And I also like to have some red KoolAid.
Why red?
It's delicious.
Anything different for you?
Oh, absolutely. He prefers the silence. I prefer a good Tony Braxton CD. Anything else, I'm just a little bit rattled. If I don't get my Tony Braxton, I'm not at the top of my game.
Now, what do your friends and family think of all this? I mean, they obviously, there's only a select group of people in the world that know who you guys really are. What do your friends and family think of all this?
Well, they're ashamed. You know, that goes without saying. But I think they've started to overcome it a little bit, and they still kind of love us anyway, just by default. But no, for the most part, you know, they've been pretty supportive about what we do, and especially our buddies. You know, anytime we go out somewhere, they like to kind of say, "Oh, there's Green Men here." So, It's kind of cool to get that introduction. It's a good icebreaker, actually, So I gotta thank the buddies for that one.
Now, you guys are both graduates of the BCIT journalism program. That was part of an interview, I think it was on TSN or maybe Global, that came out. Has this kind of impacted any job leads, any job prospects, anything like that for us?
Well, working as a grocer at Safeway has just been a lifelong dream for me. So I think that the BCIT program was excellent in for me achieving that. No, it's been fun. The media kind of understand that we're just two guys having a lot of fun with it. It's probably impacting our career down the long road, but in the meantime, let's have some fun with it and, anger Cowichan.
I like that. You guys have done your research. Now, we'll touch on Cowichan in a little bit, but you guys got on the wrong side of Don Cherry, and any Canadian hockey fan knows you do not want to do that. You guys took exception to, I think it was the Kerry Underwood in Nashville and the Shane O'Brien as well. What do you think of Don Cherry and his remarks?
I've always respected Don. I mean, the guy is an absolute legend in this country, and he's going to go down in history as one of the hockey gods, really. But he's starting to get to the point, I feel, where he's not really making as much sense, you might say.
Don't speak ill of Don.
Hang on, I know. Let me finish.
You'll get in a moment.
Let me finish. Because after he said that, and I was cool with it, he's got entitled to his opinion. But after he said that, he said this thing about Doug Gilmour, and then he is the greatest player in the world. Doug Gilmour, the greatest player in the world? You kidding me? So, I mean, he kind of lost a bit of credibility with that one, I think, in my books anyhow. But no, love Don. The guy is a legend.
The Jackets lose credibility for me. What about you for Don Cherry's remarks there for us?
Exactly. Just him looking to talk about something. There was no Russian players that angered him that week, so he targeted us. But you know what? We won his respect back because the very next game, we brought a Don Cherry cutout of him in the green suit, and we wore some Don Cherry suits. So we won his respect back, and what Sully said, the guy's a Canadian legend, so it's hard to argue with him.
Now, we mentioned you guys do your research. I mean, you bought the Kerry Underwood for Nashville from Mike Fisher. Have you guys done any research for the Cowichan Valley Capitals tonight? And can we expect anything perhaps a little targeted towards the Caps players?
See, I hate to say it because every time we get interviewed before a game, people always ask us what's coming. We can't let the cat out of the bag. You gotta see it for yourself. Firsthand. So it's going to be a heck of a game tonight. There's a huge rivalry here. Lots on the line. So we're going to do what we can to help the Kings.
Now, you're already getting into it. Do you guys follow much hockey outside the NHL? Have you been to any BCHL games before?
Absolutely, yeah. We're both from the mainland, and there's plenty of teams around there. We live in that little Langley and Surrey. But top two teams in the league going at it tonight. So we want to experience some real BCHL hockey.
And this is the place to do it, Powell River at the Hat Parker Arena. Now, my personal favorite is the Waffles in Toronto. Watched that clip on YouTube many times. What are some of you guys' favorite moves that you've pulled out over the years? Sully?
Ooh. I got to admit, I love the waffles as well. Those were great. You know what? My favorite thing, and it didn't get a lot of airtime, which is too bad, but we both came to a game once in smokers' jackets, like Hugh Hefner jackets, and we each had pipes. And it was so dignified when I saw it on TV. It just looked amazing. But yeah, it was only on for a split second. But that was my favorite. It's underrated.
Forrest, what about you? Anything that you've pulled out over the years that sticks with you?
Yeah, very simple, but the first cutout we ever did was the Vince Vaughn against Chicago. We had him in a Canucks jersey, and just kind of the story that came with it. Some guy ran down from the seats, goes, "I'm friends with Vince Vaughn. He's angry. I got off the phone with him. He wants that sign gone." And he paid us $200 for the sign, and then we promptly pulled out the second Vince Vaughn cutout. So
back up.
Vince Vaughn hates us, to put it kindly.
Well, that's not such a bad thing either. I mean, who is Vince Vaughn, really? With regards to opposition arenas, I mean, you guys were down in Nashville for, I think it was Game 5 of that playoffs, or the road games on that one. Yeah, Game 3 or 4 of those playoffs. With regards to opposition arenas, have you guys kind of come up with any big opposition? Any guys coming up to you trying to send the wrong message?
Oh, it was brutal last year in Boston. Actually, Nashville was surprising. Everybody was like, it was almost like a home game in Nashville. Like, everybody was so nice down there. They'd come up to you and go like, "Oh, your team sucks, but good luck tonight. Enjoy your trip." And then they'd walk up. It was awesome. But down in Boston, of course, we got a little bit of a razzing. Like, I got kicked in the shin on numerous occasions. I got a drink dumped on me. I know Forrest got shoved around down there too. But I mean, then again, that was the finals. So we knew we had it coming. But yeah, for the most part, people kind of respect it. They see it as, these guys are just hardcore fans, and so they like it, I hope.
Force any opposition arenas that you've been to and don't really want to go back?
Yeah, well, I don't want to admit that I don't want to go back to Boston because the Boston fans will eat that up. But yeah, all 3 games we were in Boston, we were escorted out by police for our own protection. They're intense down there. As soon as Aaron Rome hit Nathan Horton in Game 3, it was on. We were little bit worried. But as Sully mentioned, Southern Hospitality in Nashville, I'd go back in a second, and I had a blast when we were in Phoenix.
So you guys are on record as saying is when the Canucks win the Stanley Cup, you guys are going to retire the suits, hang up the suits. Is that still the case?
That is still the case. What I can't see much. Is this wood here? We're gonna knock on that.
You can knock on Jared Leung's stall. That'll make him very, very happy.
Absolutely. Don't want to jinx it. Well, when the Canucks win the Cup, we're gonna have some thinking to do. And I mean, this day and age, when you retire, you can still come back. I mean, Junior Seau has come back like 17 times. It's ridiculous. But yeah, you know what? There comes a time when you got to shut her down. And we said we're gonna do this till the Canucks win the Cup, and that's the goal right now.
Now, what is it going to take to get the green suits hung to the rafters at Rogers Arena, you think?
Oh, I don't know. I think that's a very good question. It's tough. We were contacted by the Hockey Hall of Fame last year, and they were interested in taking the green suits if the Canucks won the Cup. It didn't happen. So maybe this year it would have been a nice little fitting thing, hanging at the Hockey Hall of Fame, and everyone can look at the green Ginch.
I think one of the stipulations, we probably have to wash the suits before they take them to hang them up. That's probably one of the things they'd like to have happen, maybe.
Yeah, I don't think the Hockey Hall of Fame does too much in odor control. Force and Sully, the Vancouver Canuck Green Men, the big off-ice attractions here at the Hat Park Arena. Can I get a big Go Kings?
Oh, absolutely. Go Powell River Kings.
Yeah, let's go Kings.
You got to make it very distinct. I can't cheer for LA.
Yeah, PR Kings. I like that.
PR Kings. Go PR.
Let's do this, baby.
Thank you very much, Force and Sully, for making your way out to Powell River. We hope to have you back very, very soon. I know you guys were an absolute smash here at the Hat Parker Arena back on Friday night. Now, some fantastic news came down for the Kings on Monday, as it was revealed that they had made the CJHL's top 20 list for the first time since October. They currently sit at 19th position and will look to rise up those standings this weekend as they host the Alberni Valley Bulldogs in another pair of games here at the Hat Parker Arena. First game goes Saturday night, 7:30, with the follow-up game Sunday afternoon at 1:30. You can buy your tickets right now at the Kings office. As well, you can listen to the broadcast live on 95.7 Sun FM beginning 15 minutes prior to face-off, both games with Andy Welsh and myself. Well, that does it for this week's edition. On next week's show, we'll have another set of highlights from those two games against the Bulldogs, as well as all the news and interviews from the Kings Kingdom during the last set of 7. From outside the visitors' penalty box right here at the Hat Parker Arena, we'll leave you with a couple of shots from Force and Sully during their time in Powell River. My name's Alex Rawnsley, and that was the week that was.